In 2432, the air on Mars buzzed with a mix of anticipation and uncertainty as the Galactic Academy of Warfare prepared to welcome its first-ever batch of alien students. Known for its rigorous curriculum and state-of-the-art training facilities, the Academy had decided to expand its student body beyond humans to include intelligent species from across the known galaxies. This groundbreaking initiative was part of a larger peace treaty aimed at fostering understanding and cooperation among the diverse civilizations of the universe. The alien students arrived in a spectacle of lights and sounds, each species alighting from their spacecraft with a unique grace or power. The Ylnarians, beings with translucent skin and bioluminescent veins, communicated with each other through soft, harmonic tones, creating a melody that sounded like gentle rain. The Shirags, on the other hand, towered over the crowd, their 8-foot frames covered in scales that shimmered like polished armor under the Martian sun. As the students gathered in the Academy's grand auditorium, whispers and stares were exchanged, not out of fear, but out of sheer curiosity and intrigue. Human students, relatively mundane in appearance with their diverse range of skin colors and conventional attire, were as much a spectacle to the alien visitors as the visitors were to them. The dean of the Academy, a seasoned veteran of interstellar conflicts named Commander Helena Voss, stepped onto the stage to deliver the opening address. Her presence commanded attention, her voice firm yet welcoming as she spoke of unity, respect, and the importance of learning from each other. Today marks not just the beginning of a new academic year, but the start of a new era, Commander Voss declared, her eyes sweeping over the crowd of young cadets. Here, you will learn not only about warfare and strategy, but also about the strengths and cultures of your fellow students from around the stars. The highlight of her speech was the introduction of the first exercise that would set the tone for their training, the simulation. It was described as a highly advanced virtual reality experience set in a meticulously recreated battlefield of ancient Earth, an environment unfamiliar and challenging to all, ensuring no species had a home-ground advantage. The objective was simple yet daunting: navigate the terrain, outmaneuver opponents, and capture strategic points, all while managing limited resources and forming tentative alliances. As the ceremony concluded, the students were divided into their cohorts, and the human cadets like Jax, a young man known for his unconventional thinking, were eyed with a new sense of respect. The alien students were particularly interested in how these humans, without obvious physical or sensory advantages, would fare in the same challenging conditions. Jax, mingling with his new teammates Lyra and Crow, felt the weight of expectations on his shoulders but also a spark of excitement. The humans had a reputation for being unpredictable in battle, a trait Jax was more than ready to demonstrate was well earned. The first day of the simulation dawned with an air of palpable excitement and a hint of nervous tension among the alien and human cadets alike. They assembled in the vast simulation chamber, a technological marvel capable of creating virtually any environment in stunning detail. Today it had transformed into a sprawling urban landscape, modeled after ancient Earth cities, with towering skyscrapers, narrow alleys, and abandoned vehicles providing cover and strategic points. Jax, Lyra, and Crow, still getting accustomed to each other's presence and styles, were briefed on their mission. Their objective was to navigate through the city, secure a series of checkpoints, and ultimately capture a central flag, all while avoiding traps and ambushes set by rival teams. The teams were mixed, ensuring that each group had a blend of species, which forced everyone to quickly adapt to each other's strengths and weaknesses. Lyra, with her Ylnarian ability to analyze and compute data rapidly, initially took charge of devising their strategy. She proposed a direct route through the main streets, using her species' advanced sensory capabilities to detect and avoid traps. However, Jax suggested a more unconventional approach that seemed counterintuitive to his teammates. "Why not use the sewers?" Jax proposed, noting the network of tunnels shown in their digital maps. "It's less obvious and no one will expect us to move underground. We can avoid the main ambush zones and come up right near the central flag." Crow, the Shirag, was skeptical. His species preferred straightforward confrontations where they could utilize their physical dominance. "It is dark, narrow, and it smells," he grumbled, his voice echoing a common distaste. Jax grinned. "Exactly. It's perfect for a surprise attack. Humans have a saying, all is fair in love and war. Sometimes you have to get a little dirty to win." Reluctantly, Lyra and Crow agreed to try Jax's plan, intrigued by his confidence and curious about human ingenuity and tactical planning. As they geared up with virtual equipment and entered the simulation, the urban landscape came alive with the sounds of distant explosions and digital gunfire. Navigating through the sewers was challenging. The cramped, dark environment forced the team to rely heavily on touch and the minimal light from their gear. Jax led confidently, his familiarity with human history and urban warfare guiding them through the labyrinthine tunnels. Lyra adjusted the sensory settings on her suit to map their route and detect any anomalies, while Crow, though uncomfortable, guarded the rear with his formidable presence. Emerging from a manhole near the central flag, the team was smeared in virtual grime but undetected by their opponents. They quickly seized the advantage, capturing the flag while other teams were still maneuvering through the more obvious routes filled with traps and ambushes. As the simulation ended with their unexpected victory, Jax, Lyra, and Crow received commendations for their teamwork and strategy. The alien students, particularly Lyra and Crow, were impressed by the humans' unconventional approach and began to see the potential in combining their various strengths and tactics. This successful execution of a human-inspired strategy not only won them the exercise, but also began to shift the perception among the alien cadets about the efficacy of human tactics, often less about brute strength and more about psychological manipulation and environmental adaptation. After their initial success in the sewers, Jax, Lyra, and Crow were viewed with newfound respect by their fellow students. Energized by their victory, the team approached the next simulation with eagerness, ready to blend their skills further and tackle more complex challenges. The new scenario was set in a dense forest environment, rich with towering trees, underbrush, and hidden clearings. It was designed to test camouflage techniques, stealth operations, and the ability to adapt to natural terrain. The objective was to secure a series of data nodes hidden throughout the forest, which were guarded by automated drones simulating enemy defenders. As they strategized, Lyra suggested using her species' advanced optical sensors to detect disturbances in the environment, allowing them to avoid the drones. Crow wanted to use brute force to take down the drones from a distance. Jax, however, proposed a different approach, one that involved more risk but promised a higher reward. "Let's split up," he suggested. "We'll draw the drones into chasing Crow, who can handle a few hits, while Lyra and I use the distraction to move stealthily and capture the nodes. Crow, you'd essentially be the decoy." Crow's eyes gleamed at the idea. Thriving in the role of a warrior, he agreed, excited by the prospect of engaging in simulated combat. Lyra, though initially hesitant about splitting up, recognized the tactical advantage in their coordinated diversion. As the simulation commenced, Crow thundered through the forest, deliberately triggering drone sensors and drawing them into pursuit. His towering form and the noise he generated mimicked a conventional attack, pulling the majority of the defenses towards him. Meanwhile, Jax and Lyra moved with quiet precision. Jax had smeared mud and leaves on his suit to blend in with the forest floor. A tactic, he explained, was often used in historical guerrilla warfare on Earth. Lyra used her sensors to navigate and avoid any remaining drones, impressed by the effectiveness of Jax's primitive yet effective camouflaging techniques. One by one, they secured the data nodes. The drones, focused on Crow, were slow to adapt to the realization that the real threat was elsewhere. By the time they redirected to defend the nodes, Jax and Lyra had already secured the majority required for victory. When the simulation ended, their strategy was applauded for its clever use of misdirection and teamwork. The debrief highlighted the effectiveness of integrating diverse approaches: Crow's strength and directness, Lyra's precision and technological prowess, and Jax's ingenuity and knowledge of historical human tactics. This exercise solidified the team's reputation and demonstrated to the entire cohort that human strategies, while sometimes archaic, could be extraordinarily effective when adapted to modern interspecies warfare scenarios. The alien students, initially doubtful of human capabilities, began to view their human peers as essential allies, capable of turning the tide of battle with their unpredictable tactics. Following their series of successes, the mixed team of Jax, Lyra, and Crow found themselves at the center of attention at the academy. Their innovative tactics had not only proven successful, but had also sparked a broader discussion about the integration of diverse skills in military strategies. The instructors, keen to push the cadets further, planned a challenging night operation, pitch-black conditions meant to simulate covert operations on a moonless extraterrestrial night. The objective was to infiltrate an enemy base, disable their communications, and extract data from their central computer. Given the darkness, visibility would be almost non-existent, a scenario that would normally disadvantage humans whose eyesight was less adapted to such conditions compared to many alien species. Mara, a human cadet who had observed Jax's success, decided to implement a similar approach by leveraging human ingenuity. She led a team including 2 other humans and several alien cadets, including a nocturnal Vinorian known for its exceptional night vision. Before the operation, Mara briefed her team on a series of non-visual signals they could use to communicate silently in the dark. "We'll use touch signals and preset vibrations through our gear to coordinate movements," she explained. "Keep noise to a minimum and stay alert to the tactile feedback from your teammates." As the night operation commenced, Mara's team used their minimalistic tools effectively. They scattered noise-making devices around the perimeter of the enemy base to create a series of distractions. The Vinorian, with its superior vision, guided the team through the shadows, while the human cadets utilized infrared sensors and night vision goggles to navigate and monitor enemy movements. Mara's plan capitalized on misdirection. While the enemy forces were drawn out to investigate the noises, her team slipped through an unguarded section of the base's fence. Inside, they moved with precision, communicating through gentle taps and controlled breaths. Reaching the communications hub, they used a simple yet sophisticated hacking device, designed by the Academy's tech team, to disable the base's systems and download the necessary data. As they exfiltrated with the data, enemy forces realized the breach too late. Mara's team vanished into the darkness, leaving behind a confused and disrupted enemy. The operation was a resounding success, highlighting not only human adaptability and resourcefulness in adverse conditions, but also the strength of interspecies cooperation. The debriefing session was particularly positive. Instructors praised the team for their execution and innovative use of basic technology, combined with alien abilities. "This operation shows how vital creativity and teamwork are in modern warfare," one instructor noted, "especially when coupled with the unique strengths of diverse species." The alien cadets, initially skeptical of the human reliance on such primitive tactics as distractions and stealth, began to appreciate the depth of strategic layering that humans brought into play. Mara and her team had demonstrated that in warfare, often the simplest tools, used well, could outperform the most advanced technology, especially when unpredictability and surprise were factored into the equation. The Academy's next simulation took the cadets off the lush forested moons and dark operations and plunged them into the stark, arid landscapes reminiscent of Mars' ancient deserts. This time, the objective was a resource management exercise that challenged each team to survive in harsh conditions while simultaneously engaging in mock combat scenarios. The intense heat and blinding sunlight of the simulation area tested the cadets' endurance and adaptability. Human students, particularly experienced with Earth's diverse climates, were well prepared for the physical demands of the exercise. They brought a nuanced understanding of survival strategies in extreme environments, a knowledge they were eager to share with their alien teammates. Jax, now respected for his unorthodox approaches, was paired with 2 new team members from aquatic and subterranean species, both unaccustomed to arid, open landscapes. Navi, from a water-covered planet, struggled with hydration and temperature regulation, while Grohl, from a subterranean world, found the bright light disorienting. "Here's what we'll do," Jax explained, as he handed out reflective survival blankets and water filtration units. "These blankets can reflect the sun and keep us cool, and we can use the sand to our advantage for cover and camouflage. We'll build a makeshift shelter and use it as a base for our operations." Under Jax's guidance, the team constructed a low-profile encampment using the natural basin of a dune, covering it with the blankets to deflect solar radiation. Grohl, with his species' innate burrowing skills, helped create sand traps and hidden escape routes, turning their simple camp into a fortified position. As the simulation progressed, rival teams found it difficult to approach Jax's stronghold without being spotted or falling into traps. The high vantage points offered by the dunes allowed Jax and his team to use solar-powered scopes to monitor enemy movements accurately. When a skirmish was inevitable, they utilized heat and light to their advantage, using homemade solar flares to create diversions and disorient their attackers. The exercise concluded with Jax's team having successfully defended their outpost and conserved their resources better than any other group. This victory underscored the human ability to turn seeming disadvantages into strategic assets. It also highlighted how human experience with Earth's varied environments could offer valuable lessons for interplanetary tactics and survival. During the debrief, the instructors emphasized the importance of environmental adaptability in warfare. Understanding and utilizing your surroundings can often be the difference between victory and defeat, one instructor noted. Jax's team's performance provided a clear example of this principle, demonstrating that human ingenuity in leveraging the environment could complement the technological and physical prowess of alien allies. This simulation not only reinforced the value of human tactical approaches, but also fostered a deeper sense of camaraderie and mutual respect among the diverse cadets. They learned that in the vast theaters of galactic conflict, survival often depended on more than firepower or technology. It relied on creativity, teamwork, and the wise use of every available resource. As the academic year approached its climax, the Galactic Academy of Warfare prepared for the most comprehensive and challenging simulation yet. The final test was designed to incorporate all elements of warfare, air, land, and sea, mirroring a full-scale conflict with complex objectives and dynamic battle conditions. It was a culmination of everything the cadets had learned, and it required not just individual prowess but the ability to work seamlessly across species lines. Jax, Lyra, Kraug, Mara, and other standout cadets were grouped into one large mixed team, reflecting the Academy's confidence in their abilities to lead and innovate. The scenario was set on a planet with diverse terrains, from dense forests and vast deserts to sprawling oceans. Each terrain would test different aspects of the cadets' training, from guerrilla tactics in the forest to large-scale naval strategies in the oceans. The objective was clear: capture and hold 3 key positions, each in a different terrain, while maintaining supply lines and managing troop movements across the varied environments. It was a test of endurance, strategy, and adaptability. Jax and his teammates divided responsibilities according to their strengths and past experiences. Kraug took command of the ground forces in the desert region, using his physical strength and combat skills to engage the enemy directly. Lyra managed aerial reconnaissance and support, utilizing her species' advanced technology to provide real-time data and strategic bombing runs. Mara coordinated the naval forces, applying her knowledge of stealth and misdirection to maneuver undetected in aquatic environments. Jax, with his knack for unconventional tactics, served as the overall strategist, moving between terrains and shoring up defenses or launching surprise attacks where they were least expected. His plans often involved deceptive maneuvers, such as creating fake supply convoys to draw enemy forces into traps or using the environment itself as a weapon, like causing landslides or flooding strategic areas to slow enemy advances. As the simulation progressed, the team's coordination and innovative tactics began to dominate. They managed not only to capture all 3 key positions, but also to hold them against increasingly difficult waves of attacks. The final hours of the test turned into a showcase of resilience and tactical acumen, with each member of the team playing a pivotal role in thwarting the enemy's efforts. When the simulation ended, the victory was clear, and the cadets' performance was met with applause and commendation from the instructors and peers alike. Their success was not just in their tactical victories, but in demonstrating profound teamwork and strategic harmony across different species and capabilities. The final debrief was an emotional one, with Commander Voss praising the cadets for their exceptional growth and adaptability. "This test wasn't just about fighting smart," she said. "It was about how well you could integrate the strengths of diverse species and technologies. You have set new standards for what it means to be warriors in a galaxy where cooperation can be as important as strength." This final test solidified the reputations of the human cadets as invaluable strategists and leaders, capable of uniting the galaxy's diverse warriors under a single banner of tactical ingenuity and mutual respect. Their success promised a future where such collaborations could potentially lead to peace and stability across star systems. The day of graduation at the Galactic Academy of Warfare was filled with a festive atmosphere, a stark contrast to the usual disciplined and solemn tone of the military institution. The campus was adorned with flags representing the myriad species and cultures of the students, fluttering in the Martian breeze. Families and dignitaries from countless planets gathered, their diverse appearances a vibrant tapestry of the galaxy's inhabitants. Commander Helena Voss stood at the podium, her gaze sweeping over the proud faces of the graduating cadets. The success of the final simulation had resonated across the academy, turning this cohort into one of the most celebrated in its history. Today, we celebrate not just the completion of rigorous training, Commander Voss began, her voice amplifying across the field. We celebrate the breaking of boundaries and the forging of bonds that we hope will last a lifetime. You arrived here as representatives of your worlds, cautious and competitive. You leave as comrades, having shared in each other's struggles and triumphs. One by one, the cadets were called to receive their diplomas. Jax, Lyra, Crow, and Mara, now leaders among their peers, were greeted with cheers as they accepted their certificates. Their teamwork and accomplishments had not only exemplified the Academy's ideals, but had also demonstrated the potential for a united interstellar community. As the formal ceremony concluded, the graduates gathered for one final group session in the Academy's main hall. It was a tradition for outgoing cadets to leave behind a piece of advice for the next generation. Jax wrote, "Embrace the unexpected. The most unconventional paths often lead to the greatest victories." Lyra added, "Never underestimate the power of diverse perspectives. Together we see more than apart." Crow with a smile scrawled, "Strength is more than might. True power lies in unity." Mara's message was simple yet profound. Stealth and cunning can turn any tide. Never show all your cards. The celebration continued into the evening with cadets and their guests sharing stories and hopes for the future. Discussions about potential assignments and dreams of further adventures filled the air, alongside laughter and music from various worlds. As night fell over the Academy, Jax and his friends stood together one last time looking up at the stars. "What's next for you all?" he asked, his voice tinged with a mix of excitement and sadness at their impending partings. Lyra was set to join a research fleet, applying her analytical skills to navigate uncharted territories. Crow had been recruited for a peacekeeping force, ready to use his strength to maintain stability. Mara planned to return to Earth to train the next generation of cadets, inspired by her experiences. As for Jax, he was looking forward to a role that would combine diplomacy with strategy, helping to forge alliances across the galaxy. "Who knows where we'll end up," he mused, "but I think the lessons we've learned here will guide us wherever we go." The friends embraced, promising to keep in touch and reunite someday, whether on a distant battlefield or during a peaceful mission. They departed from the Academy as graduates but remained forever bound by their shared experiences, ready to apply their unique tactics and perspectives to the vast challenges of the galaxy. Thus, the Academy's gates closed behind another successful class, their futures as limitless as the stars above, a testament to the enduring legacy of human ingenuity and the strength found in diversity.